We set up a GoFundMe page, and Bart called me one day and he goes, "Don't let that go live." And I said, "Why not?" And he said, "I don't know if people remember Black Bart."
When it comes to professional wrestling, the strength we admire isn't just found inside the ring. It's found in the hearts of those who, when faced with life's toughest battles, refuse to back down. The Cauliflower Alley Club Courage Award is a tribute to that unbreakable spirit, honoring those that have given so much inside the ring and have had to fight the toughest battles behind the curtain. This award represents the very core of what we stand for: compassion, community, and the commitment to give back to those that have entertained and inspired us for so many years. Through the generosity of our members and the kindness of our supporters, we are able to provide assistance to those that have dedicated their lives to this beloved business, offering hope when it's needed most.
You line them up, and I'll guarantee you, we'll knock them down!
Champion Black Bart.
Known to many as the tougher than a $2 steak, no-nonsense cowboy, with his rugged beard, signature hat, and a grit that can only come from the Wild West, Black Bart was a force of nature.
Say something right now!
He stepped into the ring with a fire that burned through every match, every feud, and every challenge that came his way.
Our heroes, Kevin Bonerick, Harry Bonerick.
From the territories of Mid-South Wrestling to the bright lights of Jim Crockett Promotions, Black Bart made his mark as one of the most formidable heels of his time.
We've been taking care of business out there!
Black Bart won numerous championships during his career. He held the prestigious NWA National Heavyweight Championship, dominated the tag team scene with Ron Bass,
Black Bart, Cowboy Ron Bass of Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Championship,
and carried the Western States Heritage title with pride. But it wasn't just about titles. It was about the spirit he embodied, of a man who fought with everything he had, every time he stepped through those ropes. Black Bart's courage is not just recognized, it's celebrated. He embodies the very essence of this award: strength, resilience, and an unyielding will to keep fighting.
You know, many awards come down the pike, but one of the most prestigious awards that I've ever heard of is the Courage Award. That means like getting in the ring and wrestling a bear, or getting in the ring and wrestling two bears. I've done both. One at a time, of course. The Cauliflower Alley, I want to thank each and every one of them that got behind this and got me inducted and got me done this. I'm fighting this dead-gum cancer, and cancer is just about as, the chemo is just about as worse as the cancer. So if it takes courage, brother, I need a ton of courage. I need all the help I can get. Once again, I want to thank Cauliflower Alley and everything that they've done and everything that they're going to do, and all the boys that they've helped. God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you around.
Old Black Bart is going to be around for a long, long time, and there ain't a daggum thing that you can do about it.
The 2024 Courage Award recipient, Black Bart.
Thank you. I wanted Bart to see this because if he sees this, I was John Hawk when I started. I was a tag team champion with Black Bart back down in Texas, and I wanted him to see it because he can go say, "That damn John Hawk's still stealing my gimmick." So please take pictures and send this to Bart. You know, Bart, if anybody who stands here because of people that made a difference in their life, and Black Bart was one of the ones that made a difference in mine, both professionally and personally. Bart and I were really good friends. We are really good friends. We talk all the time. Bart loved me, and I know he loved me because when I'd walk in the sportatorium, and for those of you that know Black Bart, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Bart would sit in the corner of the dressing room with a big trash can between his legs, and his glasses would always come down his nose, and he used the longhorns, and he'd push those glasses up like that, and he'd hear that cowbell, and he'd say, "I hate the sound of that damn cowbell because that long, tall drink of shit Johnny Hawk's with it." So I know Bart loved me. You know, a lot of guys talk about great trainers in this business, You talk about Farmer Burns, you talk about Carl Gotch, you talk about Hiro Matsuda, Billy Robinson, Hero, Brad Reingens, you talk about the days today, Tom Pritchard, you talk about Fit Finley. Bart's one of those guys that finish guys in the ring. He was one of those guys that Dusty Rhodes sent Dustin to. He's one of those guys that Blackjack sent Barry to. He got me and Dunkel, and Bart cussed me and Bobby for if he's going to find a patch of green grass and teach me a lesson one of these days. Thank goodness he never did. But Bart, about a few years ago, gave me a call and told me that he had cancer. And you got to understand our sense of humor. I said, well, what kind of cancer, Bart? And he said, colon cancer. I said, as big as your ass is, that's like a giraffe with strep throat. And he said, Johnny Hawk, when I get out of this chemo, he said, I'm going to find a patch of green grass and I'm going to teach you a lesson. So I said, Bart, well, let's raise some money, for you. And guys pitched in. Guys right away pitched in. And Cauliflower Alley Club, to their credit, right away called me, Brian Blair did, and said, what can we do to help Bart? Bart had insurance, but it was costing about $600 per chemo session. Cauliflower Alley stepped up. We stepped up. A lot of guys that knew Bart stepped up. And I said, well, let's do something online. He said, what do you want to do? I said, how about an Only Fats page? And he said, what? I said, Only Fats page. It's like plus size wrestlers selling old pictures to old Rizats. We'll get a ton of money off that. And we thought maybe that's not a good idea. So we set up a GoFundMe page. And Bart called me one day and he goes, don't let that go live. And I said, why not? And he said, I don't know if people remember Black Bart. And he said, I just don't know if I can take it if nobody gives any money. And of course, we had arranged it where people were going to give money. We had, names and stuff. We rigged the thing to make sure, but we didn't have to. Once Bart put it out and his granddaughter was running it, people came from everywhere to give Bart money. And here's a guy that could cut the greatest promos ever. We used to cut promos. You guys remember back in the day, you cut the promos for all the towns. You say, you got Von Erich boys in Fort Worth, give me 2 minutes. You got Dick and Killer in the Sportatorium, give me a minute and a half. And Bart would just cut promo after promo. I just would sit there and just marvel about how he could put sentences together and make them make sense and rant and all somehow wrap it up right at the end of the time frame. And he called me, he said, Johnny, he said, I don't have words. He said, I cannot believe that people did this for Black Bart. Bart is a very religious man. And he believes that the day his heart stops, that God's going to bring him home. But Bart has told me, he said, I'm going to fight. He said, I'm going to fight hard. There are times I call Bart and I talk to him and he's just always the same. And there are times I call him and he goes, Johnny, I can't talk today. My chemo's killing me. And he goes, I thank you. I love you. Will you call me later? And of course I always do. Bart has a long road ahead of him, but he's going to fight. And he's going to fight like only Black Bart can. There's not a guy in the industry I've seen that has had as much influence of everybody has a Black Bart story. And they're all good stories. And Bart has this incredible legacy. This award meant the world to Bart. He wanted to be here so bad, but his chemo got further and not sure what's going to happen next. But Bart's going to be Bart. And I'm proud that a guy that I love dearly has gotten this award. He's my big brother, and I want to thank you guys for honoring a good friend of mine and a good friend of the business, Mr. Black Bart. Thank you.